All right, we're going to be making fractals. So first step always is to make a new layer. And once you've made the new layer, then you can just make a shape. This can be anything in the world. Be creative with it. Don't just use what I'm doing, but be creative. Any sort of shapes, hollow shapes, shapes with effects on them, whatever you want. But I'm going to keep it simple for the purposes of this demo. And I'm going to make a few different dots, a red, green, and blue dot. So there we go. And I put them all on one layer on purpose. Now, I know we've talked a lot about non-destructive editing. Well, this one's going to have some destructive editing just because we're going to end up with thousands of layers. And so I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can. Now, once I have the layer one created with my shape on it, I'm going to open up my actions window. So that can be underneath window and actions, or if it's already been opened, it's right here. And you can see we've got a lot of actions already, but I'm going to make a new one for this fractal. So I'm going to start right here, and you can name it if you want to. I'm going to keep it at the default action 1. And as you can see here, it popped up action 1, and we have our record button is live. So everything I do from this point on will be recorded. So if you mess up, you may need to start over. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to repair. So step 1 is drag layer 1 to the new layer, and I made a copy. And you can see there, it recorded duplicate layer. Now I'm going to go and free transform it, which is Control T. And if you don't have the center little button there, we need that. So you can just click this back there. And I'm going to drop the little center pivot point down about right in this range. And I'm going to rotate my copy. You can see it's the second one. You see how it's rotating around that? But I just want to rotate it just a little bit, just like that. In this case, it's 9.14, completely random angle, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to plug in a percentage to make it exact size. And this one's currently linked together, so the height and the width both change together. If you wanted to change one independently, you can unclick this link, and you could do 90 on one, 95 on the other, or whatever you want to do to get creative. Okay. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to hit yes to my free transform. And you can see that it recorded that transform. Now then, I'm going to do a destructive adjustment layer. Again, I'm trying to keep this simple. So we're going to go edit, image adjustments. And I'm going to do a hue and saturation, just like we do on the teacher face swap. And I'm going to do just a little bit. Barely see it change, just a little bit. So doing +10, and then OK. And you can see that that recorded that. And that's it. I'm going to hit stop on my recording. I'm going to click on action 1, and then I'm going to hit play. And it did all these 3 things and made a new layer. And I hit play again, and it did it again. And then as I hit play numerous times, I get the first little arm of my fractal. I just did 60 new layers by hitting play. Okay. Now then, that's just one part of my fractal. I need more parts than that. So I'm going to click on this top layer and scroll all the way down and shift click. So hold down shift and click on the bottom layer, and that selected all the layers except for the background. And I'm going to open up this little button right there and do merge layers. You can also see for my Mac it's Command E will merge them. But now I've got them all on one layer. And I'm going to do this again. I'm going to repeat this process. So I'm going to kind of maybe make this a little smaller, move it up here, and click yes. And now I'm going to start again. So I'm going to do a new action, record. This time I'm going to do, again, your first step should always be copy. So copy that. I'm going to do a Control T. I'm going to put the pivot point this time right here and rotate it backwards about, I don't know, that much. That's pretty close. But then I want this to be divisible by 360. So if I do 15, do -15. make a perfect circle and it goes all the way back around. Check, and then check yes on that one. And then let's do another image adjustment. Let's do invert, so it just flips the colors. There we go. And stop. Let's come back and play that one. Action 2. Play, 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 play. And it came back perfectly in a 360-degree rotation. Let's do one more for kicks. I'm going to take this top layer, come down here, hold down Shift, hit the bottom layer, and merge those together again. And now I have one whole shape here. Once again, this time I'm going to make it big before I start. Let's see what I'm going to do here in 1 second. Check. And let's record again. So new action, record. I'm going to, of course, copy it. Let's do a Control T, just like we did before. And this time I just want to do size. Let's go down like 80%. There we go. And then I'm going to try right click and I'm going to do flip horizontal. So it flopped it. And let's do yes to that. So I duplicated, I transform my layer. Let's do another edit adjustments. Let's do I'm going to do another hue and saturation, but this time I'm going to turn it dark just a tiny bit. There we go, I did -7. And I need to stop that recording. Come back, click on action 3 and play that recording. You can see it flipped it, make it smaller and darker. And as I go, it just gets darker and darker off into the distance. And there's one way to do a fractal. Now these are just basic steps and ideas. Change the shapes, change the steps, make it do different things, make it spiral out of control. We'll see all kinds of ways we can fractals appear, and you can do whatever kind of idea you want to with that. But this is just a base starting point. Again, be creative, have fun.